Good evening and welcome to the SNSN Sports Control Center. We are just about set for kickoff at 6:30. It's the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week. Cromwell, Portland faces Rockville. It's going to be a hard-hitting game with two very hard-nosed teams. Only one loss between both teams coming into tonight's game. We're going to talk to the head coaches from both teams, Rockville's Eric Knickerbocker and Cromwell Portland's Sal Morello. We'll be back in a minute right here on SNSN Sports. All right, kicking off the pregame show here on SNSN Sports just before the game between Rockville and Cromwell Portland. We are graced right now with the head coach for the Rockville Rams, Mr. Eric Knickerbocker. Coach, how are you tonight?
Doing good. Looking forward to a really good football game tonight.
So you've beaten Cromwell Portland last 2 years. 2022, you beat them 21-14. Last year, it was 36-20. Everything changes. We know this from year to year. Plus, you're playing them at the tail end of the year instead of the beginning of the year. I think it was week 3 last year. What's the formula this year to do it all again?
Yeah, I mean, Cromwell's one of the best teams in the state. I think 2 years ago when we beat them, they had like a 20-something game winning streak. So I think when we get them on our schedule, get really excited to play this game because, they've just been such a good program for such a long time. Now Coach Sal's back there. Rendell did a great job, but Sal's back there too. So like, there's no drop off there. They just have an outstanding program. So the only way you beat them is you have to out physical them. They're not going to give you anything. And you have to go and win the game. And that's what we were able to do 2 years ago. We won it in the final minute. It's one of the greatest games I think I've been a part of. And then last year was a couple plays that we just made, that were the difference. So we're going in anticipating it being kind of the same thing. And I think we're really excited for that challenge.
Tell me a little bit about Will Davis Jr. and what he means to your team.
So Will J's been, his sophomore, he kind of got in the mix last year. He found himself as a freshman playing in a lot of minutes in the state championship game. So we knew we had a special player. He does track for me in the spring, really talented kid. And he's really kind of stepped up for us defensively, I think, to start the year. And then I think we're starting to see now offensively too what he can do only as a sophomore.
So tell me a little about Cromwell Portland. Tell me who do you got to watch out for?
Yeah, I mean, their skill position players are pretty much almost the same as last year, and they were really good last year. So I'm going to give you numbers. I don't have all their names memorized, but I sure know their numbers. Their quarterback, number 3, is extremely talented, gets the ball out quick. One of the better quarterbacks we've seen. I know he's been in and out, so 16's come in for him and done a really heck of a job running the ball and throwing it. 21 and 2 are two football players that any football coach in the state would want on their team. Just really hard-nosed players that they just make a difference. They do a lot of the little things, and there's explosive, very good football players. They got number 7, who's a 6'5" receiver. I think enough said there that can go up and get it, plays basketball. And one of my favorite players I think that they have is number 0. He plays usually a receiver slot, really talented kid. So they really can move the ball around to a lot of players. I think that's what makes them very effective. I don't think, in our 7 games, we haven't played a team that has as many skill guys as they do.
So the game starts at 6:30 tonight. We're only a few moments away from kickoff. Any predictions?
I'm hoping for a good football game. I mean, we've been waiting for 2 weeks for this game. It's senior night. I would hope that we're ready for the challenge. But I think we've played 3 times since I've been here at Rockville, and they've all been great football games. The kind of games that, I think coaches and players, they understand football. You put so much time in. These are the kind of games that we look forward to. So I don't have a prediction. I hope we're ringing the bell at the end. But you know what? That's what's going to happen here in the next couple hours.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to talk to Coach Morello in just a couple of minutes, and we'll be back after this break on SNSN Sports. That was our conversation before the game with Rockville's Eric Knickerbocker getting ready for today's game. In just a moment, we're going to talk to the head coach of Cromwell Portland, Sal Morello, when we return with the NFP Sports Impact Game of the Week pregame show streaming on SNSN Sports. Welcome back to the SNSN pregame show. We just got done talking to Coach Knickerbocker a second ago. Now, right before kickoff, we're going to talk to head football coach for Cromwell Portland, Sal Morello. Sal, thank you for taking some time and joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, right now, you guys are 7-1. Last week,
Valley and HK are tough teams, so those are like two playoff games. And I think it's going to serve us well down the road, especially here tonight versus Rockville, who is an excellent football team.
Yeah, I mean, between the two of you, there's only one loss. You're 7-1, they're 7-0. If I'm correct about that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Last year, let's get into a little bit of the recent history of the games between the two teams. Last year, 36-20. You guys lost, and you lost the year before that. So what do you got to do differently this year, Coach, to bring home the W for your team?
I think one thing we really have to do that sticks out, well, there's two things that just watching on film is we gotta match their physicality, and we're gonna match their intensity. They're a tough football team. They're a physical football team. They're a really good offensive line. They got skilled kids. Coach Knickerbocker does a tremendous job. You could tell that, just watching them on film, they're well coached. I think we really got to win the turnover battle, and field position is going to be very key in this game. But I think, we've been stressing it all year, and it's nothing different, but we're stressing winning the turnover battle. You can't give Rockville a short field or give them anything. We got to make them earn everything. They've capitalized on other teams' mistakes this year for sure.
It's funny because Coach Knickerbocker pretty much said close to the same thing about the physicality between the two things. It almost sounds like it's going to be some sort of a cage match or something between the two teams. Any predictions for tonight?
I just think we got to play well. We got to bring our A game. That's the prediction, really. If we play our A game, we got a chance. If we make a couple mistakes, they're good enough. They'll capitalize on it. But if we bring our A game, it should be a good football game.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Coach Morello, for joining us tonight. And good luck tonight against Rockville.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
That's going to do it now for our SNSN Sports pregame show. There's only one thing left to do, and that's the kickoff, which comes up in moments. Let's send it to the press box. Cromwell Portland, 7-1 on the year, coming into the Rams house, who are undefeated for tonight's NFP Impact Game of the Week, streaming on SNSN Sports.
Hello everybody and welcome to the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. We're here at Rockville High School for a matchup between the 7-1 Cromwell Panthers and the 7-0 Rockville Rams. My name is Andrew Diaz. I'm joined by Marco Pizzaferrato here in the booth at a beautiful night here in Rockville. 52 degrees, breaking the little bit of a cold streak we've had. And what kind of implications will this game have? 2 7-win teams playing each other.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're talking about playoff. This is playoff time of the year. This was actually senior night here at Rockville. So last home game in the regular season. So what comes soon are those playoffs, and all what you're playing for now is positioning. In this game, with both teams having those records, right now they can both host a home game. The only issue is they're both not going to be able to win this game. So that's going to really change some things up for what they're doing and what they're going to do, obviously, going forward. So a big night tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We've got the captains at the center of the field right now for the coin toss. Like you had mentioned, Rockville's final home game of the year, senior night. Definitely going to be an emotional one. We were here earlier. It seemed like Rockville had a bunch of seniors, so kind of their last time in a huge matchup here on their home field, before the playoffs. So this will definitely be a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a big game like this, where do you want to have it? At home. That's what you want to do. You want to be on your turf. You want to represent your turf in a game like this. And I'll tell you what, Rockville, I'm sure, is up to the task. Now, in last year's game, Rockville, again, this is at Cromwell, 36-20. So I'm sure Cromwell would love to come and, have a little payback of themselves in this one for sure.
So it looks like Rockville will be receiving the opening kickoff. That will give Brady Ramsdell, the quarterback for the Rams, a chance to go to work here. He's kind of the leader of that offense, along with Caden Boland, running back. He leads their team in rushing and is second on the team in receiving. So looking at, for him, going to be looking to those two guys as kind of your big playmakers and to get moving on offense, start fast, because you don't want to start slow against another 7-win team, especially, we keep saying it, when playoffs are on the line.
Absolutely. And listen, both of these teams have made the playoffs in the past and gone very far. So Cromwell, for example, in the championship game last year, some of these young players in that Cromwell team that are juniors now, and one being Sapola, Tyler Sapola, number 21. I remember some of the things he was doing last year in the championship game, so I get a chance to watch him now almost a full year and see how much he's progressed. And I'm sure, again, when you're 7-1, he's probably doing some things for the Cromwell team and the Panthers as well to have that success. But again, like you said, Boland and Ramsdell, obviously a big part of this offense, so you'd have to imagine if they're going to be putting points up, it's going to go through either one of those two.
Mm-hmm. Looks like I was mistaken here. Looks like Cromwell will be receiving the opening kickoff. So Rockville looking to tee the ball up right now. Again, you are watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports between the Rockville Rams and the Cromwell Panthers.
When I watched the weather earlier, they were talking about 20 to 25 mile per hour winds. I thought that was going to be a big talk. Looking at the top of the goalpost there, the flags are just kind of rippling in the wind, nothing too severe. So passing game shall not be impacted, I don't believe.
No, not at all. Beautiful, we'd mentioned before, beautiful night, unseasonably warm right now. Rockville kicking off, short pooch kick.
That's a nice kick right there, well fielded though.
Cromwell's going to get the ball after a pretty nice return up to about the 42-yard line. So we're going to see the Cromwell offense come out now.
Yeah, I like the creativity in that kick there. Molly Wilson, kind of that pooch kick, dropped it in the right spot, took a little backspin, but we saw Cromwell able to field it on the bounce and get it out past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, those kicks are weird. You never know how they're going to bounce. Cromwell there got the luckiest bounce right into your returner's hands.
Yeah, right in the good old bread basket, they'll say as well.
Cromwell comes out at about the 41-yard line in shotgun. Motion from the receiver. Looks like a jet sweep to the right side. A big gain, big block there on the edge. And that's going to be a first down for Cromwell and a little bit more. They're going to get the ball to the opposite 44-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, Paul Wimbish, Speranza on that carry around the right side and picked up enough for that first down, moved it into Rockville territory. So Cromwell getting it started early around the outside.
Rockville defense lining up. Cromwell still in the huddle right now.
Yeah, it looks like Rockville's right now at least showing a 2-deep zone, so looking like they don't want to have any kind of pass, but usually that means run game for the offense when they see 2 deep safeties.
Cromwell comes out in the gun. Motioned by the receiver into the backfield, number 21. Snap, and it looks it's going to be his off-tackle run. Another nice gain there for Cromwell. Looks like that's going to be another first down for him. So running the ball right away, looking to get to the outside, not even testing that middle, big Rockville interior. So seems to be a sustainable game plan right now, but it's still early.
Yep. Coach Melo knows what he's doing. He's been around a long time, and he's back here at Cromwell, a program that he started. And I'll tell you what, like, not afraid, as you said, to attack the outside and get in the ball carrier's hands. I mean, we've seen some good ones, and that time we got a chance to see number 21 again, Tyler Cipolla, that I mentioned earlier. Did some things last year as a sophomore. I only can imagine what he's going to be doing in this game and what he's done so far this season as a junior.
Cromwell comes out and trips right now. Cipolla lining up kind of stack in the slot. They're going to go an RPO over the middle. Slant caught by number 8. That is Mason Statura, the junior. Nice little play there, nice play design.
And that's what everybody's doing. I mean, you're running play action all the time when you run those RPOs, and it just puts the linebackers in such a bind. And right there, like you said, Elfich just dropping that ball right over where the linebacker was in that voided area, and just another way to move the chains.
Cromwell coming out. Looks like in the gun again. Got 2 tight ends, actually. Tight end comes off the line. Motions across the formation to the right. Oh, bobbled the snap, but we're going to get a QB power there from number 16, the quarterback. That's Sitaro. Was able to recover that, a little bit of a bobbled snap, but still able to get positive yardage there.
So there's our first chance to see the 2 quarterback combination going on. Sitaro comes in, and looks like he might be the one that we're going to get in that power run formation. And here comes Elfich. So maybe Elfich obviously gives him a 2 dynamic look where it could be a pass, obviously, or a run. But maybe maybe Sitaro's more of that power running quarterback that we'll see in a Wildcat situation.
Definitely. Elfich back in. Cromwell in the gun right now. Motion by the receiver. They're going to go with another jet sweep, this time to the left side. We got a penalty marker on the ground there. It looks like it's going to be a hold, probably by the wing or the tackle there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it was out there pretty good, and It was Mason Stachora, number 8, the tight end on the outside. It's tough. That defensive end has already got leverage on you, and as soon as he sees that you're stepping with your outside foot, if he's well coached, he's going to immediately fight to the outside, and right there just stringing it out. Mr. Chura had nothing he can do, but you just hope the flag doesn't come out in that situation. Right. But easy call for the officials, and that's going to back it up. And that was a chance to see Vaughn Payne get his hands on the ball. He is a tall person in stature, at least from up here in the booth. So I would imagine that is a good person to throw a jump ball up, maybe against some of these shorter secondary players for the Rockville Rams.
Definitely. Cromwell comes out. It looks to be about 2nd and 10 right now. Following the penalty there in the gun. 8 goes in motion across the formation into trips. We got our pass, and it looks like a screen over to the outside. And that is going to go. Touchdown, Cromwell. That looked like number 1, Paul Wimbish Sparaza on the rocket screen, getting everybody out there, a whole convoy for him to walk into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, like you said, they got a convoy out there, and some of those blocks on that jailbreak there got out and got in the right position, because there was a great block initially by the inside receiver to set him free, and then the linemen were able to get out there and pick off that outside linebacker and backside linebacker to open that lane. And like you said, Sparaza with the speed, once he got into that open field, he put the afterburners on.
If you're an offensive lineman, getting out in space against one of the smaller guys, there's nothing more fun than that.
And that's what it is. Football now is that. Football is get the ball out in space and go. And there's a lot of teams that are running those type of packages where they're getting linemen out in space, which I think is good because, in a way, football itself, even the body types in football have changed some. You can play this game with smaller guys and faster guys over larger and more physical people. I mean, there's just different versions of the game to play, and you can see coaches fit the mold of what they have and what you have to do. But again, points up on the board.
It is 7-0 now. Cromwell scored on their opening possession. 8:49 left here in the first quarter. You remember, you're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. Cromwell coming out to kick off. This will be our first look tonight of Brady Ramsdale coming out at quarterback, the senior. So his final game at home, definitely wants to go out on a good note. And he has to answer right away. Kind of gets the pressure put on him right away. But if you're a senior like Ramsdale, a leader, you want to kind of be in that situation where you can come back and try to match them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few seniors he'll have out there helping him as well. And Jacob Owasu, the running back, and don't forget about number 27, Mason Russell, out there as well. So there'll be a few seniors here on senior night trying to go out in style, as you said. Shorter
kick fielded by number 5 for Rockville. And they're going to get the ball out to about the 32-yard line. Two shorter pooch kicks to start the game.
Yeah, you see maybe the special teams coordinators for each program, they're trying to test out some of the people they might have seen on film that they thought might be a little shaky with the hands. Mm-hmm. But so far, I think they've kind of, as we're here at Rockville, answered the bell.
Yeah. Cromwell comes out in looks like a 3-4 motion by number 0 for Rockville. Run a sweep that's cut inside for, looks like maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, we see, again, both teams trying to use that jet sweep and the motion to get people on the run there and see if they can use the speed. But Cromwell that time didn't get outflanked, but also was able to stop that play kind of early into the backfield.
Yeah, once you're able to bounce that back in, it's kind of game over. Not much more you're going to get out of that. Rockville going up tempo. They go with a dive right now. That's going to go to, looks like Boland again for maybe a gain of a yard. Looks now it's going to be third and about 8 or 9.
Yeah, Rockville operating out of the pistol formation there, putting the running back behind. Again, what does that do? That doesn't allow the defense to really pinpoint which side you might be running zone to. So a lot of teams like to overline away from the running back when they're side by side with the quarterback, and that might be a reason when we see them in the pistol once in a while to change that look for the Cromwell Panther defense.
Ramsdale back to pass, hit as he throws. It's going to be overthrown, intended for, looks like number, I'm not sure if that's 18.
Hey, listen, Andrew, I'm going to tell you this right now. They don't have the luxury of replay assist, but I think there was a little tug there. The hometown crowd below us here calling it out, and I'm going to be honest with you, watching it from here myself, there was a little tug on the hip there, and hey, as a defensive coordinator myself in my past, love it.
You're going to want to see that one go.
You want that.
Time.
That's what you want. That's what you want your kid to do. If it's not going to be called, I mean, it worked. And again, you're not teaching, PI, but you can play aggressive.
Yeah.
So you play aggressive. It doesn't get called. It works out for you in that situation. So, but I have to say, Rockville people, you are correct. I'm with you. I'd be out there yelling too if I was with you.
Rockville set up to punt here on 4th and 8. Cromwell's got 2 returners back deep. Looks like we got a false start here by number 13 down by the Rockville sideline. So that's going to back them up a little bit more to about 4th and 13 for the punt.
Yeah, Andrews Manzanares, all right, the senior again wants to get out there and get after it a little earlier than he could. Just jumped the snap a little bit, but you can tell he's ready to get going.
I believe he was the one that was held on the most recent pass, so he might want to get down there and make a tackle, get some of that little bit of frustration out. Rockville coming out to punt. Decent punt here. It's not going to be fielded. Kind of takes a backspin to about the 45-yard line. That's where Cromwell will take over.
Punt down at the 45-yard line, and the Panthers will take over. First and 10.
So it looks like Rockville is going to come out on defense now. They're looking to get back, kind of, maybe settle in a little bit more. That first drive kind of seemed like a bit of a shell shock the way Cromwell came out, ran the ball, RPOs, shorter passes. So kind of try to combat that and make them push the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, that last play was pretty dynamic, but like you said, it was 15 yards here, 15 yards there, and that does go pretty quickly, but still, it was about, 6-play drive there before they scored and took some time off the clock. That was only about a minute, 20 seconds. I think you said 8:49 was the transition.
Yep.
7:21. I mean, you do the math. That's a little bit over a minute and 20 seconds there, 27 seconds or 28 in terms of since they had the ball and the ball's on the ground.
Ball's on the ground after a screen. Looks like that's going to be Rockville's ball. They're going to gain possession at the 42-yard line. That might be the early momentum that they need right now.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Jeremiah Pickney on that fumble recovery there. Somebody obviously knocked it out on that. Again, it looked like that screenplay again.
Yeah.
And jumped that. I think again, Rockville recognizing what the play was out of the formation and really jumping that route, knocked the ball out, and then Pinkney able to get on it and like you said, return possession back to the Rams.
Rockville's got a little more life right now. They come out in the gun. Looks like trips left. Go RPO there. Missed throw there by Ramsdale.
Yeah, that's that in between. All the receivers are running kind of that void slant route there, and it looks like maybe Ramsdale expected his receiver, William Davis. Again, William Davis has quite a few yards receiving this year for the Rams, 367 on 17 receptions. So he's a target for Ramsdale, and right there maybe a little off in terms of the route that he ran, or at least where Ramsdale expected him to be.
Rockville comes out in the gun here on second down. Snap, they're going to go another play action there. Play action or an RPO. Again, missed the slant there. That was going to number 10. Jacob Owasu there.
Again, another favorite target. 172 yards on the season, 8 receptions. I mean, so, he's putting up some big numbers. He's averaging 21 yards a reception. So when he gets the ball in his hand for the senior, it seems like he makes some big plays happen. Yep. So, again, what night to do that on a senior night, but at your last one on your field, it would be a great night to go out. And again, they might be hosting a playoff game here, depending on how this game goes. It's just your last regular season game on senior night for sure.
Rockville comes out and trips left. Ramsdale rolls left. Throw to the sideline, number 23. And it's going to be incomplete. Kind of a little bit of an awkward roll out there for the righty rolling left. That's never looks super natural when they do that.
You're talking my language, man. You are talking my language. I never understand why offensive coordinators that I work with ever send quarterbacks, especially between the youth level and high school level, against the grain. Sure, you want to do it once in a while to throw off one of your tendencies, absolutely. But why not put him in an advantageous position 5 out of 7 times and have more success? I've seen teams run it opposite shoulder more times than running it the other way. So I just don't I don't get the play calling sometimes. I'm not saying there, but in general.
Punts away here. It's going to be fielded by number 2 for Cromwell. He's going to get a return. He's going to get taken down hard at about the 24-yard line. So after near disaster for Cromwell, fumbling on their first play of that drive, they get the ball back after their defense makes a big stand. So,
yeah, and I have to give a shout-out to Kevin Kelleher there, the senior on the tackle. Going back to the days of myself as a lineman, which was a long, long time ago days in high school, getting down on punt was the only chance for an offensive player to get a chance to make a tackle. So if you got down there and you made the tackle, that was it. So shout-out to Kelleher on that one, getting down and fielding that punt.
Cromwell offense coming back onto the field. Rockville defense looking to, maybe get another turnover here, or at least force them to punt. Try to get this Cromwell offense off the field. Motion by the receiver 21, and they're going to go with another jet sweep, this time to the left. He's got blocks, and it looks like he's going to get a first down there.
Yeah, Sapola able to really take it around the edge there. Really took it, as you want to run that jet sweep, straight down the line. Once you get out past that number 2 receiver, second one from the sideline receiver in alignment, you want to start to look and turn it up where you have it. And Sapola, just being very patient, was able to get that edge late. And as you said, picked up 9 yards on the play.
It's going to be 2nd and 1. Now, it looks like when they're going with that, it looks a little bit like Elfrich is reading the end a little bit, so that could be something to watch out for, too. If he ends up pulling that and the DNs are pursuing hard after that jet sweep, could be a big gain. Cromwell's going to come out in the gun here. It's going to be a dive to number 2, and they're going to get the first down there on 2nd and 1.
Yeah, Rockville has that 4-man front. They're staying wed to that. They're just playing different motions and games with their linebackers and safeties where they line them up. Sometimes they start off in 2 deep and will come down to what looks like almost a zero coverage, and then other times you'll see what looks like a man free look, and then you might even get zone. So just showing some different looks in terms of the secondary, but the front seems to remain the same with at least 4 hands on the ground, or 4 linemen with hands on the ground.
Rockville's going to come, or Cromwell's going to come out, and it looks like empty.
Now this looks like zero coverage here.
Oh, and they go with that power run again with Citaro in the game. Coming in, we had talked about that earlier, being their sort of power run quarterback, and they go with the jet motion to him running power. So
Which
is 2nd 1 again.
Which you're calling it right. That's what they call power read. So power read is that exact play there. You have the outside jet, or you have the outside run or outside zone play, which is coming off the jet motion, and the quarterback has the opportunity, if they don't like what they're reading, could be reading linebacker or end, they can pull the ball and follow the guard right up to through the B gap, which you're going to see right there again.
The same thing again, and it looks like he's going to get the first down there on 2nd and 1. They went back to Citaro on the power read.
Well, this is to keep the defense honest. You know, Coach Morello's obviously understanding if I just have Elfrich in all the time and he's always giving, eventually they're going to overplay that. And maybe he doesn't want to see him get banged, running the ball inside.
Yep.
But Citaro, a little bigger body, and obviously can handle the snaps, and you want to get as many players in the field as possible. You want to have people ready to go, as they always say, next man up. So Citaro even getting a package to run is another way to keep him involved, so you have somebody reliable no matter what happens this season to get you through it.
Elfrich back in the game. They're going to go dive to number 2 there. Bounced it out to get about 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 8 at the 50-yard line for Cromwell.
I mean, it's got to be, I would say what you expect in this game, right? It's 7-0. I mean, we had the opening drive for a touchdown, but both teams kind of settling in, and it's going to be like a, no pun intended with the fight tonight with Tyson, but this is going to be a puncher's match here.
Yep. Cromwell comes out. They're in a tight trips formation. It's going to be a toss to 2. We got a flag on the field, but a nice tackle made there. Just kind of stopping him before he gets going. See what this flag looks like. A hold.
It looks like they're going to say holding against Cromwell. So, again, like you said, they had that bunch formation, kind of bringing. They want to bring the defense in, try to see if they can hook the edges, and apparently whoever hooked the edge there maybe did again with a little bit of too much hooking, and the holding call there against Panthers is going to back them up 10 from the infraction.
So they're going to have it here about 2nd and 16. We saw the penalty earlier. It doesn't stop their drives. Doesn't seem like they get down when they get the penalties. So see what they come out with now. They've got trips right, motion into the backfield. Now we got a 2-back look. Motion out. Oh, and they're going to go with a halfback screen there. Oh, a nice tackle there by number 13 for Rockville. Really just read that screen like a book. Didn't fall for the motion, going out to the right and came back to the left.
Yeah, Andrew Manzanares again, the senior, making a stick like that, you said. Probably the film study during the course of the week alerted them, because you saw a lot of movement there at a Cromwell, and that also made, if you watch that movement by the offense, the defense was really shifting around. Mm-hmm. And even with all that shifting around, you still had Manzanares able to be in the right spot at the right time and have a beautiful, as they would say back in the old days, a beautiful stick.
3rd and long, passing. Oh, and he hits him. He's down to the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Cromwell. That was a beautiful throw there from Elfrich. Got hit while he threw on a wheel route there to number 21, Capola there.
Yeah, there you go. Tyler Sapola ran the wheel route out of the backfield, and just was able to take it right out and run away from the defense. And when he did, the ball went right up in the air perfectly by Elfich, dropped it right in. And once Sapola has the ball in space, I don't know if there's a lot of people that are going to catch him.
No. Lining up for the extra point here to make it 14-0. We got a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
So you got Sataro as the holder, something to just keep an eye on in the future. If you ever needed to do something, you have your quarterback out there. And then, your kicker in this case is Matthew Michaud. So Matthew Michaud taking the PAT duties for the Panthers. It looks like Rockville thinks they were maybe expecting Cromwell to go into a different situation. Now there's a penalty. It looks like Cromwell's bringing the offense. Is that the offense back on?
Yeah, it looks like maybe an offsides on Rockville.
So that's going to move the ball up half the distance to the goal. So at the 1.5-yard line, Cromwell elects to go for 2.
After the penalty, it looks like
And look who your quarterback is.
Sataro's in the game.
point conversion.
They're going with 2 backs to
With
the right.
2 quarterbacks. Is that Elfich? No.
They go power, and he gets in.
Conversion is good.
Just had those two running backs off to his right. Just ran right down their throat there. That's what you're going to get when Sataro's in the game. Little pop pass, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, you're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports.
You buy better. Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
School's back in session and it's time for a pop quiz. True or false? Insurance coverage is all the same and it doesn't matter where you buy it. False. True or false? The best kind of insurance is the cheapest you can find. False. True or false? Working with a local agent can help you navigate all your specific coverage needs while finding a competitive price for free. True. Don't let yourself fail when it comes to your insurance. Call, email, chat us online today. Our qualified staff can walk.
We are back here, the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. I'm Andrew Diaz. I'm joined by Marco Pizziferrato. Here we had a 15-0 game here at Rockville. Cromwell up right now with 3:20 left in the first quarter.
And there you go. You saw the alternative to what the pooch kick was before. That was a deep one. Went over the returner's head and luckily went into the end zone for Rockville. But, again, takes one of those funny bounces, and that could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
That penalty, though, on that conversion, that might be something to keep an eye on. Like, obviously, Coach Melo seeing an opportunity when you get that extra yard and a half and you have Sataro back there to put 2 on the board, because now you put pressure on Rockville. Even when they come back in the game, at some point they have to maybe go outside their comfort zone and do something they don't want to do during a PAT.
Right. Ramsdale drops back the pass. They got a halfback screen here, and that's snuffed out pretty early on by number 4 for Cromwell. That is Matthew Michaud, the kicker and inside linebacker.
Jack of all trades, but that's what you need. I mean, obviously, that's the great stuff about high school football is you see kids that contribute in all aspects. I mean, if you watch the Colorado Buffaloes on TV, you're going to see somebody contribute in a lot of aspects. But in high school football, you know, your kid's the kicker. He's the, as you said, linebacker, and then sometimes they're the running back. And it's just that's the beauty of high school sports. You have an opportunity to try a lot of things, and hopefully at some point you get really good at one of them and you can excel at it.
Ramsdale lets it fly. He's going to overthrow number 23 there, or 27, my apologies.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, again, fans are upset. They felt the play was over and there was a touching after, which it was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But, I think the officials saw it as not egregious.
Give him the benefit of the doubt there. A little more momentum maybe that
Yeah.
he's thinking, but something to keep an eye on maybe.
Brings up 3rd down now for Rockville. So we've seen him, like you said, it was running back screen. It was kind of deep ball there. So, it looks like not that they've abandoned the run game, but it looks like they're taking the approach of we're not going to run against this box.
Ramsdale drops back the pass, scrambles. He's going to try to get a first, and it looks like he is going to get a first and a little bit more. So that's Rockville's first down of the night. Definitely big for momentum. You find yourself in a bit of a hole right now, down 15-0. You don't want to panic too much. especially if you're Ramsdale. You don't want to try to play hero ball, but right there he scrambles out, gets the first down, and pumps a little bit of life into the Rockville offense.
Yeah, and sometimes you need that even for yourself. Ramsdale, the senior here, again, last home game, senior night. And the thing is, sometimes you need to get out there and get a good one going and kind of get yourself juiced, and that, kind of brings life to the team.
Ramsdale with the give there. And it's going to get maybe a yard. Going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Rams.
Yeah, the Panthers, it looks like, they're playing, as you said before, 3-4, but they're bringing those linebackers up, which almost looks like one of the good old-fashioned 46 Bear defenses with the outside pressure and kind of filling up the inside gaps. But they're packing the box. They're daring Rockville to put the ball in the air, which we've obviously seen them not afraid to do. But, at times, they're filling it up. I mean, you have 4 up right now. You have 3 linebackers. You have 7 in the box, and that's throw all day for a spread team.
Ramsdale drops back the pass, looks to the right side, lets it go. He's going to overthrow number 10.
Yeah, well, you got that juice is flowing there for Ramsdale too, right? That ball's kind of got a little extra carry in it, and again, the flags on top of the goalpost aren't moving, so it's not like that was a wind-aided, overthrow. It's just the young man's feeling it right now and obviously juiced up, and sometimes you got a little extra on the ball.
It's going to bring about 3rd and 8 here for Rockville. Definitely big if they get a first down here as the quarter starts to wind down. A little more than a minute left in the first quarter. Rockville comes out in the spread. Ramsdale with the screen over to number 23. Makes a nice move, but isn't able to evade the second defender. That's Mashad again on the tackle. Kind of making a couple big plays there for Cromwell. And
he is. I'm sorry. I'm just stomping my foot here because, what you want to see William do there, William Davis on the reception is, you love that inside charge, but then as soon as you take that step up, cut back up to the outside because the blocking to the outside is what was set up on that play to happen in terms of the swing screen. And he should have just kept that inside charge like he had and then bounced it outside, and I think he'd still be running right now. So look to see if, again, that's something they can kind of correct his steps on that and really take advantage of it. 4th
down, snap to Ramsdale. It's going to be an incomplete pass. He was looking for 23 again. It looked like maybe a little miscommunication because he never really broke off his route at all. Maybe he was expecting him to run a curl there, but 23 kept running. So that's going to be a turnover on downs, and Cromwell's going to get the ball in enemy territory now at about the 39-yard line. So good field position. Your offense is rolling. Now, you're up 15-0, with 23 seconds left in the first. Maybe try some new stuff out to try to widen that lead, play a little less safe because you have that safety net if you're Cromwell.
Or do you treat this like a turnover, right? What do they say after a turnover?
Big play,
right? Do you go big play here? It's the end of the quarter, so do you just go, do you treat it the same, mentality? So we'll see what Coach draws up here.
An empty snap to Elfridge. He's going to take a shot there. So, there's that shot play. He was looking for number 2 Gish on a corner route.
Right. I think that's trying to take a shot.
Definitely.
That's not just running the ball right there. So obviously the mentality there. We got a turnover. It was a turnover on downs, but we're going to take a shot. It's a big try for a big play. And Gish was on the outside, but again in the center of the field, I believe was Sapola running that post to the middle. So there's 2 options there, and look, both recovered well. But again, Coach not afraid to take a shot.
16 seconds left here in the first quarter. 2nd down for Rockville. Elfrick comes out in, looks like bunch left. Tight bunch left.
Rockville has 2 safeties.
Oh, and they're going to run a little inside sweep there to 21. And that is going to go back to Sapola, and he's going to get first down or very close to it. And he's going to get a first down. They're moving the chains. And it looks like that is going to end the quarter. 15-0, Cromwell Portland in the lead right now. We're going to throw it over to some advertisers. You are watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports. And we are back with the second quarter of the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week. Back here at Rockville High School, Cromwell Portland with a 15-0 lead now, and they're driving right now. Got the ball at the 30-yard line. Snap, and it's going to go to Sataro. And they run QB power again, and he's going to get about 7 yards there.
Carried by Sataro.
Yeah, again, I mean, I don't think it's been much of a surprise, and it's one of those things where you can see, you know, kind of a coaching point of emphasis is you think during this time of year you're going to show Sataro as your running quarterback, and you're just saving for that situation in a game when you need it. I have to imagine you're going to see him pull up and throw one of those balls, and they're going to catch somebody really off guard, and that's going to be a big play. Maybe not tonight. You know, when you're up 15-0, you may not have to pull any rabbits out of the hat, but that could be something you see in the playoffs for sure out of Cromwell.
Cromwell comes out in the gun here. Motion by 8. Kind of comes into a wing position. They're going to go with a dive to number 2 on 2nd and about 7. They're going to get maybe a yard. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 3.
Looks like no gain on the play.
Yeah, Adam Gish on the carry. Excuse me, Matt Gish on the carry there. So Cromwell, like you said, no, they're in no hurry. You know, they're in the driver's seat right now. So everything is in their, you know, in their hands. They know it's 4-down territory, and they know that they don't need to be in any hurry because they're not trying to worry about, you know, having to salvage time to get back in a game.
It's going to be a toss to the right, and looks like Cromwell Portland's going to get the first down and a hit towards the boundary.
Carried by Gish.
But that's going to be a first down for Cromwell Portland. Another carry by Gish there. You know, he's kind of been the big portion of their run game along with Sapola. Sapola's kind of done a lot for them too in the pass game. But, you know, Gish, Sataro, Sapola, I mean, we're seeing a lot come out of this Cromwell Portland backfield, which is kind of keeping Rockville on their toes more and more.
And what do they say? You know, you're wearing down the defense with you know, 3 backs coming at you, running the ball at all different angles, different sizes, and you know, and exactly, you know, Gish there. You talked about it during the break. That's the formation you like seeing, the bunch formation there, bringing the defense in and then just getting outside.
Sataro in again. He came in with an empty formation. They run power again. He's going to get about 3 yards there.
Second down, well, yeah, like you said. So now they're moving the box now. So yeah, 2nd down and 7 there. Sataro looks like he's staying in there at quarterback.
Like you mentioned, they're in no rush right now. They're taking their time, getting in and out of the huddle because they don't need to be in any rush. You've got a 2-score lead right now. You're running the ball effectively, and that pass game's there if you need it. Sataro in. They go with a back to the left and a wing and tight end to the left. Sataro's passing, and it's going to be a jump ball to number 7 there. And that's something you brought up earlier. You know, you noted it. Payne is a big player, especially against Rockville's DBs who are a bit shorter. Makes a very nice play there. And, you know, you come out, you loading up the left side. You are not expecting a pass there. And Sataro kind of dips down a little bit, looking like it's going to be power, comes back, throws the fade ball.
And again, our first time covering these teams. Didn't know you had to pull the rabbit out of the hat this evening that early, but there you go. Sataro, not even, how about this? That ball was a well-thrown ball.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show, like, you have a dual threat and 2 quarterbacks that come in there, and either one can really threaten you with the run game or the pass game. And obviously there, what a ball thrown again by Sataro on the money, and as we said earlier, to the tall jump ball artist, Vaughn. So opportunity. They were able to take advantage for sure.
9:38 left here in the second quarter. 22-0. Cromwell is up, and this is not the senior night Rockville was really hoping for right now, but it's still very early. Ramsdale, the senior, he has a lot of experience, could come out, and, you know, you just got to stay calm. Again, can't hit the panic button right now.
No, I agree. I mean, Rockville didn't get to be 7-0 by not understanding how to persevere through tough times. I'm sure they've been under stress in some situations already, and I'm sure their coaching staff, as well-versed as they are, have put them under stressful situations already to have them prepared for a situation like this. So I don't think for a second that they're not believing that they have an opportunity to still come back in this game. It just takes one play to get things going.
And they're going to kick it deep here. Rockville bringing it out, and they're going to get a nice return here up to about the 35-yard line. So pretty good starting field position for Rockville.
35-yard line where Rockville will take over, 1st and 10.
Yeah, not bad. Gives them a chance, kind of gets out of the shadow of the end zone there, so it gives them an opportunity to see if they can at least get this ball out past the 50-yard line. Not that they want to give any possession back to Cromwell, but at least no matter what, get some yards and get some distance here to kind of really give you an opportunity to hopefully, at the very least, should things not go your way on this drive, be able to stop them defensively and get it back as well before the half.
Motion by 23, and they're going to go with a jet sweep that turns into a little bit of a dive there. It's a nice gain, about 8 yards there for Rockville, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 2. So a nice play. We haven't seen that from Rockville really much, a big first down play that, gets you, ahead of the sticks a little bit.
Yeah, well, William Davis there, we've seen him targeted out there for the passing game, but now you obviously get a chance to see him there on the run game and cut it up inside. So, obviously feeling the leverage outside, but the Cromwell defense still picking up 8 yards on the play.
Motion, they're going to run, comes back with 23 on a bit of a dive. Play we saw Cromwell run earlier effectively was run effective now by Rockville. Get the motion by the back, out of the backfield, and bring your receiver coming back in on that dive.
Yeah, you saw that there. They kind of faked that toss pitch off the motion, and then coming back underneath, we look like almost like that counter play back, able to hand it back off to Davis again, who was able to get enough yards for the first down.
It's going to be first down here for Rockville. They've got the ball at the 48-yard line. I believe this is their first time over midfield, so putting together a nice drive so far. They're going to go jet sweep. Oh, little trickery. They're going to throw it. And a pass interference flag is going to come out on the jet sweep pass. A little trickery, kind of a rush throw, maybe a little bit of a panic throw there, but I mean it's gonna work for them as they get the pass interference call, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, you'll take it right now. That's going to be 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's not the NFL, so it's not a spot foul. 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then that's going to make it an automatic first down. So you're going to have 1st and 10 well into Cromwell territory again, with an opportunity here to kind of right the ship. And then again, even steal another possession before halftime. And after halftime, if you're Rockville, you're getting the ball back. So, again, as you talked about before, the game not being over, points here and a stop on the next drive, this game is right back to being almost 0-0.
Yep. Rockville with a dive there. They're going to get about 5. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5. Now, they're finding their run game's working now because they're throwing so many different looks at that Cromwell defense. They're going dives, counters, jet sweeps. So now I think they're kind of settling into their rhythm. And when that run game comes, then Ramsdale's going to be able to pass the ball a little bit better because Cromwell's defense is going to commit.
Yeah, and hey, this is like a boxing match right now. I mean, it's just back and forth, It's back and forth. And that's what you expect when these two teams meet each other. I mean, these are great rivals in the Pequot Conference.
They go dive again to number 0 there. That was to Boland. He gets tripped up around the line of scrimmage. No gain. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 5 here. And now, I mean, if you're Rockville, this is 100% 4-down territory. I mean, they went for it when they were on the opposite side of the field. So obviously they're going to go for it now, especially with the deficit. But you've got a little bit more momentum. You feel better, even if you get into a 4-down.
There on that one.
Yeah. So that run game continues to work for Rockville. Wonder if they're going to keep going with it as they've got a first down here at the 26-yard line. Ramsdale drops back to pass. He's going to throw to the right side. Look, he was looking for an out route there to number 10. Out route or a curl, but wasn't able to connect. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jacob Owusu there on the intended receiver. It looks like he had a little trouble getting out of his cut there, and it was just a little late, so ball overthrown or a little wide there. Should be second and there you go. I was saying they're getting the box correct now, so 2nd and 10.
Rockville comes out here in the gun. They're going Wildcat here with Bolin, and Bolin cuts it up the middle on a little power. Gets hit hard, but still picks up about 4 yards there to make this 3rd down a little more manageable for the Rockville offense.
Yeah, the creases are getting a little wider right now for the Rockville offense. You know, earlier in that first quarter, they struggled running the ball inside. They really tried to attack the outside as much as possible. And right now, you know, they're having some success kind of running it inside the tackles here and getting those creases a little wider.
Be about 3rd and 6 here for Rockville. Ramsdale back at quarterback here. Ramsdale's going to drop back to pass, and he looks for Boland on an out route, and I think he's going to be a little short. It's going to be about 4th and 1. 4th and 2 maybe. Now if you're Rockville, I mean, that Wildcat play worked so nicely. I mean, no handoff there, no exchange to worry about. Just get the ball into Boland's hands and try to get him to, you know, rush for the first down. He stretched far on that last Wildcat. I mean, he's really running hard right now. So I think that's the guy you got to go to here. Motion across the formation. They go jet sweep to 23. And he is going to score a touchdown, but there's a flag on the play here. Let's see if this touchdown is going to stand. I don't think it is going to. So on 4th down, Rockville goes with a jet sweep there to number 23, Davis.
Yeah, Davis able to hit a little crease there to the outside, but maybe that crease was a little bigger than it needed to be based off of the hold. It didn't look like Caden Bolin was very happy out there. I think he might have felt that he might have been the one that the call was against with the grab.
So it's going to be 4th down again here. Now it's going to look like 4th and about 5. Fourth and 5 here. We have a timeout for Rockville. And you are watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. And we are back with the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports. 4th down and 5 for Rockville after the hold call on the touchdown. That's tough, and looks like Rockville's going to come out in empty. Bolin in the slot to the right. Ramsdale drops back, and it's going to be an incomplete pass on a hitch route over the middle intended for, I believe, Davis there. So that's tough. You know, you had a touchdown. You had the first down A. Touchdown is just a bonus, and then that all comes back, and now it's a turnover on downs. You're giving the ball back to the Cromwell offense, which is extremely hot right now, throwing the ball, running the ball. You know, that's tough. There's no other way to put it. That's just tough.
Yeah, and this is where the defense is going to have to come up and make a play. And again, you know, you want the turnover. We always want a turnover, but in this situation here, I mean, it's almost like you need the defense to make a play that's going to help the offense out here. Yep. And listen, sometimes even sometimes the defense takes it upon themselves and puts one in the end zone and gets things started. So anything to right the ship, but right now it's going to be on the defense's turn.
Motion from 21. They're going to run a bit of a counter here to number 2. He's going to bounce it outside for, looks like maybe a gain of a yard. Going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Panther offense.
Yeah, Mason Russell able to come from the outside there when it bounced out to him as the corner and able to take him down after that short gain. But again, good job on the backside, staying home and making sure he can stay there to make that tackle.
So it's going to be, looks like 2nd and 8 right now for Cromwell. They're going to come out with Elfridge in the gun. Motion in. They're going to go dive again there. Solid gain. Should get them to about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. So again, they're kind of just bleeding the clock. I mean, if we look at the time of possession, Cromwell's just dominating it right now. They're putting together well-sustained drives and making life easy for their defense and kind of getting the Rockville offense cold so they can get into no real rhythm, which is a bummer because Rockville just had a very nice drive. I know it didn't end the best way, but that was still the best momentum they've had all game.
Yeah, and obviously not to have points come up at it, sometimes that'll take a little bit of extra life out of you. So again, see if the defense can make a big stop here on 3rd down.
Motion. And, Sataro runs over a defender on a QB power there. And, again, I mean, 16 comes in the game. We kind of know what's going to happen, or at least we know it's going to happen after he threw that touchdown on Cromwell's last drive. But he runs hard, and he picks up the 1st down there with 3:38 left in the first half.
Yeah, I would actually, and again, this might be a pass, so I'm not saying, but you like to believe that Coach Melo's, thoughts right now is like, if we just run the clock out at halftime, I don't have to worry about Rockville scoring. And, they get the ball back after half, so that's fine. But, don't be surprised to see Cromwell really try to bleed this clock all the way down and really not give Rockville an opportunity at all.
Elfridge there threw an out route there to Sapola for about a 5-yard gain there. Just going to give him 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5 now.
It'll be 2nd and 6, 3 minutes remaining in the half.
Sataro back in the game. They're going to go empty with a wing here to the right. Motion into the backfield. It's that power read again. Sataro's going to kind of get bottled up there for maybe a gain of a yard, if that.
Yeah, you feel like Rockville really had an idea what was going to happen there, so we're able to really constrict that down and not give any kind of creases and not let Sataro. We saw him with last time with a head of steam. He'll put that shoulder down and run through there. Not an opportunity to get that head of steam going with Rockville closing down.
Yeah, if they're able to muddy the gaps a little bit there and make the running lanes a little less open, I mean, that's a huge win for them because, like you said, once Sataro gets to the 2nd level against a linebacker or a DB, he's running very, very hard, and it's going to be tough to bring him down. He's a big, big player and has been kind of their leading rusher when he comes into the game.
Yeah, and there you see Cromwell taking the timeout, getting the clock all the way down as far as they could, but 3rd down coming up with an opportunity here to get a first.
And with 1:56 left in the first half, you are watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports. We are back here with 1:56 left in the first half at the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. 3rd and about 4 here for the Cromwell Portland offense. Elfrick comes out. They've got trips right. He drops back to pass. Nice throw, but a good pass break up there by number 10 for Rockville. That was Owusu.
Yeah, how about that, Owusu? You know, we know what he does on offense, but when it's needed for the team, right, when it's needed for the defense, making a play there, knocking that down, great defensive coverage, forcing Cromwell to punt for the first time, I think, this evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cromwell punt unit comes out. Looks like it's Sapola back punting. Rockville's got one returner back. That's Davis. And Rockville brought the rush there, nearly got to it. Oh, and that takes a tough bounce. Davis fields it back at about the 15. He's getting a decent return there. He's going to get out to around the 27-yard line.
Bringing the ball to the 27, 28-yard line. 1:33 remaining in the half.
Now, if you're Rockville, what are you doing here? Are you looking at big shots? Are you looking to kind of run the ball quick and get down the field? What do you think their approach is? I mean, if you throw 3 incompletes and then punt, Cromwell's got the ball back probably with a minute left.
Yeah, and both have 2 timeouts, so it all depends on how they work their timeout situation. But, I mean, if you're Rockville, you have to believe you want to get points knowing you're getting the ball back after half with an opportunity to at least narrow the score to 22-14, bring it back to one possession game. So that's what I have to believe. You have to be somewhat aggressive here.
Swing pass out to the right by Ramsdell. Oh, and it looked like the ball came loose there to Boland, but he was down. It's going to be 2nd down here for Rockville, about 2nd and 10. Don't think they got much of a gain there.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Rams.
Yeah, that was, again, sharp defense there by the Panthers, able to really make sure that they didn't, lose containment. And nice tackle, knifing out the leg there. We call it a knife tackle for the secondary. Nice job there by the Cromwell Panther defense.
Rockville comes out in the gun. Ramsdell drops back the pass. Scanning the field right now. He's got a lot of time, but he will be sacked, and there's a flag on the play. He was brought down there by number 55 for the Panthers. That was Logan Quick. Looks like we have an injured player on the field for Rockville. We're going to go to break right now. You're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. Yeah. We are back here with the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. There's a penalty on that last play by Cromwell, so it's going to give Rockville a little more life with 50 seconds left in this first half. But the injured player there was junior lineman Heartland Hunter. He was helped off the field by some coaches there, so we're hoping he's all right and is able to return to the game. Ramsdell drops back the pass, scrambles. He's going to take off. He is brought down after about a 5-yard gain there. Clock continues to run, just over 30 seconds right now. No timeout from Rockville. They're going to line up quick here. Ramsdale drops back to pass. Cromwell only brings 3, and Ramsdale's going to get out of the pocket. He's looking to get to the sideline right now. And he gets there, and we have a late hit out of bounds there by number 21, Sapola.
Well, that's going to advance the ball down. You got 17 seconds. You're still sitting on 2 timeouts. So, I mean, smart of the quarterback to get out of bounds, and then obviously now didn't expect to, but ended up getting the extra 15-yard penalty for the late hit out of bounds. So it's going to move him in, deep into Cromwell territory. But again, with the 2 timeouts, you're pretty much looking at trying to get at least 3 plays out of the situation. The question is, at this level, can you really get 3 plays out of the situation? How much have you practiced it? And what do the kids understand to do as soon as they catch the ball, or and even the quarterback with not taking so much time in the pocket or not taking a sack, all those kind of things that go into it.
Rockville with 17 seconds left in the half comes out in the gun. Ramsdale drops back to pass, looks over the middle. Oh, and that is tough. He had 88 there on the slant. That was intended for the senior Amani Gordon. That's tough, but I mean, took 5 seconds off the clock, so they have 12 seconds now, 2 timeouts. What do you think they go with here?
That wasn't bad for a deep route, and you still had that timeout opportunity to get it, at least 2 more plays. So, I think maybe you might even look to the other side and see if you have the protection to run the same type of play or the same type of situation.
Ramsdale drops back. Cromwell brings 5. It looks like. Ramsdale throws it up towards the end zone in the direction of number 10, but overthrows him, and there's 4 seconds left here in the first half. So enough for 1 final play. Those timeouts won't really be a factor.
No, the only way we keep going for another play is if there's a penalty on the defense. So that's the only way I think that you're just going to see this last play here, and what do they do, as you said, to give themselves an opportunity at least. Clearly from where we are in the field, Ramsdale can reach anywhere on the field that he needs to with a pass, so everything's wide open at least.
Rockville is going to come out here in the gun for potentially final play. Oh, and we got a timeout here by Rockville. They use their second timeout, so a little bit more time. And we're going to go to break right here. You're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. And we are back from break with the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. Looks like there's going to be 1 final play of the half. 4 seconds left. Rockville has the ball at the 28-yard line. So it has to be a shot to the end zone right now. Rockville goes to trips right. Cromwell brings 5. Throw to the sideline there by Ramsdale, looking for Boland. It's going to fall incomplete. That will be the end of the first half of the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. The score right now, Cromwell Portland 22, Rockville 0.
Okay. Welcome to halftime. This is James Thompson of NFP Sports. I got a very special guest with us to join us to start off the halftime. Former head football coach for Cromwell, Portland, Randall Bennett. How you doing, Coach?
What's going on, James? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you in the booth. You're used to being down on the sideline. Before we ask you some questions, see what you've been up to, what do you think of the game so far? What are you seeing?
I mean, I love to see that this is a motivated Cromwell team. They've lost the past 2 years to Rockville, so, these guys definitely need this. The seniors need this win against Rockville, going out this year. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I'm speaking a little biased.
That's okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I know Coach Knickerbocker, after having some battles with him over the last couple of years, he's going to come up with a plan in this halftime, and I expect a stronger second half out of Rockville. But, yeah, really happy to see Cromwell playing well tonight.
Excellent. Thanks for that. And speaking of the bias, there's a good reason for it. So tell us, you played for Cromwell. What years did you play for Cromwell?
Man, I was a young, wet behind the ears sophomore in 2001. We played our first game, the Saturday after 9/11.
Oh, wow.
And, just moving from there, I played 3 years for Cromwell. We got a football team my sophomore year, and we're 1 year varsity and went to the state championship. I think that's the first team in Connecticut to go to the state championship in their first year of varsity. So, yeah, the bias is strong.
But, okay, so let's make it even more interesting. Who was your head coach when the program started as a sophomore?
A young, wet behind the ears Sal Morello. It's good to see him back on the sidelines.
And now he's back. He's back.
Yes.
So take us back to last year. I happened to be at Rensselaer Field and watch that game. Not a lot of people thought that you guys would make it to the state championship again, and you did. And it was a good game. I was there for that game at the big house, as we'll call it in Connecticut. So everyone is saying, okay, he won one. Now he comes back, he loses one, and then you do the unthinkable and you step down. What have you been doing since stepping down? You have not come off the sideline. You were on the sideline this past season.
Yes. I have a good friend that's the head coach at Poly Prep in Brooklyn, and I guess he didn't want to see my talents go to waste for a season, so he got me off the couch, and we went down to Brooklyn this year, and we won the Metro Independent Football League championship this year. Good to add another ring to my jewelry box. The one from Cromwell is getting a little lonely, but just an awesome experience, man. Just great to be back around football again, and just to be to experience it in another state, especially in a private school league. You hear so much about what's going on outside of Connecticut, and those kids, the old cliche, they put their pads on the same way we do, and it was a lot of familiarity once they started kicking the ball off, and it was just football again. So glad to have been a part of it. It was a great experience, but it's something about the Friday nights in November, because we're done already. So those Friday nights in November, I just love to get back out here. I got my son with me today.
That's awesome.
He wanted to check out the Panthers, so yeah, we're out here.
That's awesome. He's got the headphones on. He's got the football with him. He looks the part. It's excellent. And speaking of football in Connecticut, we're very unique as far as how late we go. We're going to end the second week in December. Now that you've been to New York, it's kind of strange to end the season that early, isn't it?
I mean, I tell you what, we won the state championship. We lost in the semifinals, and then we lost in the state championship. And my son is 4. He just turned 4, so since he's been alive, I haven't been able to Christmas shop before mid to late December.
It's a good excuse, right?
So
you got a very good excuse.
Now, I'm out before Thanksgiving, and it's a little surreal. I don't know what to do with my days right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, coming from Long Island myself, growing up down there, we would play at most 8 regular season games, and sometimes it was 7 for whatever reason. And then we would have these consolation games if you didn't make the playoffs, and the season was very quick. And then I come to Connecticut, and they get 10 regular season games. And in certain years when they've reduced the divisions down, it was very hard. You had undefeated teams some years in Connecticut that did not make the playoffs. Now we're at 6 divisions again, and it's a little easier to make it. Who do you think has it right? You think Connecticut has it right, or do you think New York has it right as far as the length of the season?
I mean, there's something to say about having a long season. I was just telling somebody earlier, you play football for 3 months, you're going to get better at football. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about a long season, especially seeing it with us last year. In the beginning of the year, I wouldn't have thought that team would have been a state championship team. But a lot of guys just getting reps every day over the course of 3 months, they started getting better. And those same teams are there in the end every year, especially in Class S. So you're going to have to go through Ansonia or Bloomfield. And with our luck, it's been both of them every time we've made it. So,
right.
Just using that long season to prepare them for moments like that. And, we're going to win our share of them. You can't win them all. They have good coaches too.
Yep.
And, we're just excited to be a part of, those legendary names in the state now. Cromwell Portland is up there with the Ansonias, with the Bloomfields, and
certainly,
that's great company.
And the last thing I want to talk about is the Pequot Conference. Everybody talks about certain conferences in the state of Connecticut. Obviously, the FCAC, the SEC, and for good reason. They're very, very powerful conferences with historic programs. But the top of the Pequot Conference is kind of a meat grinder too, man. There's no easy walks in the park at the top end of this conference. And you do have teams that sometimes surface, even though they may not stay at the top. When they're good, they're real tough. And so talk about that element of the Pequot. It's not really sneaking up on anybody. It's always been good at the top.
Yeah, we got really familiar, especially, the league is split into a north and a south. And, in the last couple of years, Cromwell hadn't even lost a game. I think they lost one game on their side, and that only sets you up to be the 1 seed every year. So in your crossover games, that's why we're here tonight, because the 2 1 seeds have to play each other, and then you'll have to play the 2 seed as well. So we haven't been able to escape playing the best that comes from the other side, whether it's Granby, whether it's Stafford. Brian Mazzone's doing a great job. My first year, I think that was our closest game that year. We beat Stafford 14-6. And, he doesn't have a bunch of, 4 or 5 guys running around out there. It's just good, solid coaching, and his guys are going to be in the right spot. And that's just this league. There's a lot of coaches that, I guess I'll say they have tenure, right? Mark Basils was running around for a long time.
Right.
Mike Marone. There's guys that have just been here that know football. So it's any given Friday night or Saturday. There was a couple Saturdays early in my coaching career where Old Saybrook stole a couple wins from us.
Yeah.
And they weren't even necessarily having the best seasons, but, on that Saturday, he had a plan, and, he toppled mighty Cromwell. And that's just like, you have to be on point every week in this league. There's no easy weeks.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, speaking of some of those legendary coaches from the Pequot Conferences, the conference, 2 that I remember and have great relationships with is Keith Taucus at Ellington for years, and then also Tim King at Valley Regional. And so the Pequot has had its moments and continues to have its moments. So we really appreciate you being on the broadcast tonight and making it out to the game. We're going to be picking a player of the game from each team. They're going to be getting gift cards from Square Peg Pizzeria, who is a sponsor of tonight's game. We're going to be leaning on you. Do you have any early favorites for Cromwell that you would pick?
Defensively, they got to get somebody to block Matt Gish, because that kid will find the football every time. And, offensively, I guess if Vaughn Payne makes another big catch, I think it might have to be Vaughn Payne.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, a couple of those passes were quite impressive. So, Coach Bennett, thank you for joining us on the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week, brought to you by SNSN Sports.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here at Rockville High School. We have a matchup between the Rockville Rams and the Cromwell Portland Panthers. Right now, it is 22-0. Cromwell is on top. My name is Andrew Diaz. I'm joined in the booth by Marco Pizzaferrato, and pretty much the first half has just been about that Cromwell offense, whether it's been Sotaro running or throwing the ball, whether it's been, Vaughn Payne being kind of a mismatch nightmare with his size, or even, Tyler Sapola on the ground and through the air caught a huge wheel route to score their second touchdown of the game. But, right from the get-go, their first drive, they scored on a tunnel screen, which was huge, and they kind of haven't stopped. But Rockville, they've come very, very close, just have not found the end zone. They found it once, but it was called back due to a penalty. But they get the ball now, which is huge. They had a little bit of momentum when the half ended, even though they didn't get any points. So let's see if, Brady Ramsdell can kind of come back and, show his, veteran experience and poise and get the Rams back into this game.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're hoping it's a tale of two halves, especially if you're on the sideline. If you're on the sideline of the Rockville Rams, you're hoping, hey, if it happened to us, we can hopefully do it to them. So right now that situation is going to be their opportunity right now.
Return here by Rockville. Gets him out to about the 39-yard line. Pretty good return. Good starting field position for the Rams. So out comes Brady Ramsdell. And good to see the injured player towards the end of the half, number 52, Heartland Hunter, the junior. He is back in the game. So thankfully nothing serious. One of the better offensive and defensive linemen for the Rams. So, not losing him for the whole game is definitely huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's moving pretty well out of the huddle, and that's one of those, like you said, one of those situations. You don't want to lose a person of that size on your football team.
Motion. They're going to come back with a counter to Boland. And he's going to get okay gain there, about 3 yards. He's going to bring up 2nd and 7 for the Rams.
Yeah, Matt Gish just sitting right there in the hole at that linebacker position, just waiting for that to come back. Nice job reading his key and able to take care of that.
Rockville comes out now in the pistol.
What the hell? Sorry.
Run by Boland.
Sorry about that. Are they all good now?
Maybe a yard. Should bring him about 3rd and 6.
Carried by Boland. Bringing the ball to the 44.
Bumping into things here in this booth, so I had to excuse me for my comment there. I had to get the lights fixed. But, yeah, so 3rd down, obviously, again, we talked about it. Rockville on this drive, you never want to say it's imperative, but, you figure what? Maybe you get 4 drives and a half, maybe 5 if you're really lucky with a turnover. You got to take advantage of every single one.
And there's a big play there. Ramsdell with the pass out to 24, and that is a huge gain down to the 20-yard line on 3rd and 6. And it looks like Rockville wants to go a little bit quicker. Ramsdell coming to the sideline. That is a massive gain there. The catch was made by number 24, Jeremiah Pinkney, kind of on a little bit of a flare route out of the backfield.
Yeah, Ramsdell able to lead him nicely with that pass and allow him to get out in front and keep that speed up, and he was able to turn the corner and just take it down the sideline for a huge gain and a huge play for Rockville.
And he had pressure. He had defenders right in his face. That was a good throw there. Give is the Boland. He spins, is able to pick up about a yard. 2nd and 9.
Tell you, Cromwell's getting people in the backfield real fast. Jamie Lugo in the backfield pretty much immediately on the snap of the ball, really causing a problem, and number 70 as well, Isaac Moore. So really making the running backs have to make decisions early, which makes it easy for linebackers when they can just tee off, because obviously now lanes are being picked early by the running back. So Cromwell having that success again early in this quarter with that inside run defense as we saw in the first quarter before.
And they're continuing to sort of load the box. Pressure there. Pass over. Oh! Completed pass there by Ramsdell over to number 8. Or no, that's to Boland, number 0. He gets down to about the 3-yard line kind of didn't look like he knew where he was when the ball was coming in. Made a really great athletic play there to get the Rams into the red zone. And that was another play. Rams will drop back to pass, had pressure right in his face. He's going to go under center here. To QB sneak from Ramsdale, and he is going to score pretty easily. So Rockville, they get on the board right now with 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and that's the momentum they needed. I mean, if they sputtered on this drive, that would have been a real tough thing for the offense to have to swallow. So they get points on the board, down 22-6 now. It becomes a little more manageable.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you can ask for. When you're in at halftime, this is what you drew up. This is what you asked. We get the ball back after half. We have to get points on the board. You get the big play out of Pinckney. And then, obviously, again, you see Ramsdale able to finish it off here at the end. So points are going up, and that's exactly what you needed if you were Rockville.
And the extra point is going to be no good by number 65, Molly Wilson.
Now I guess now you're putting yourself in a position. So 22-6, you're looking at a difference of 16 right now. So 16 is 2 8s, and you have to wonder now, does that put the pressure on the Rams to forego the PATs with Molly now, and just stick to maybe we're just going to go for 2 and try to close it down with your possessions are going to be minimized.
Yeah.
So you figure if we're going to say 4 possessions and a half is average. You have 3 left. Or do you try, if you get the next one, do you go for 2 then, or do you really think you're going to be able to score on all 3? So it's going to be interesting now to see what happens the next time Rockville does score, what they choose to do for the point after attempt.
And those 2-point attempts will be tough. The way Cromwell loads the box, and it's going to be tough to throw too because you have Vaughn Payne at safety, who's just a really good athlete and a big body. So I wonder what their 2-point plays would be. I guess we'll see him if it comes time for it. Kickoff by Wilson to short one. He gets a good bounce. Cromwell is able to fall on it.
I didn't get it at first. I watched that. The up back there, number 27. It looks like I saw number 27 there. I'm sorry, Jaden Augustin backing up with the ball bouncing in front of him. And again, we saw that ball check up and go back towards the return team. And lucky that he was able to get the feet in the ground and get back to that ball and recover it. But that was very, very close to almost giving the possession back to the Rams there. And that would have been enormous.
Yes. That's the favorable bounce you want on that pooch kick. They had it right there. And if they score again, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to it again. Cromwell comes out. They have Elfrich in at quarterback here. He's in the gun. Motion by 8 coming into the wing. They're going to go with a run here to number 2, and he gets bottled up pretty quickly for no gain. So a little life right now from Rockville. Offense just scored. Defense playing hard against the run. Going to bring up 2nd and 10.
I mean, they're answering again. I do like it because we heard it earlier at the start of the telecast. They were playing. Well, maybe we weren't on the air yet, but before pregame, they play "Whom the Bell Tolls" here from Metallica. And again, right now, answering the bell is the Rockville defense.
Elfridge drops back to pass, pressured. He's going to scramble. He's going to get a good gain. And he slides down and is hit by Bolin there before the first. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 2 now. It's a good heads-up play. Recognize you don't have anything. You feel the pocket collapsing and just gets out and, gets down, picks up some yards to make this 3rd down more manageable.
I get it. It makes sense, but it also kind of makes sense for what we've been seeing this evening. Here comes Sataro, again, the running quarterback. Elfich is going to be the guy who's going to throw the ball, who's going to give it. Look like he's going to read and maybe pull it, but you can tell with the slide there, he's not most likely going to be the quarterback you're ever going to really see take possession of the ball and run himself. So that might be your rabbit in the hat future play where we see him do maybe in the playoffs where he keeps the ball a few times and takes it around the outside.
Motion across the formation. Sataro's going to keep it. He bounces it to the left side, and he's running hard, and he is going to get a 1st down. Gets 3 when he needed 2, and that is going to be another 1st down for Cromwell.
Yeah, he got some yards after contact there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like the shoulders are just boom, boom, boom. Like a battering ram there, and he took a couple shots before he got there. And Rockville had that opportunity, but when you can grind it out with a big body like that, like you said, getting direct snap, no reason to transition with a handoff, so you're even faster to the hole. he's going to make some yards.
Elfridge back in the game, lines up in the spread, drops back to pass. Oh, and he looks, and he has a wide open Sapola who's going to walk in for a touchdown there. And that just widens the lead a little bit more for Cromwell Portland. They answer Rockville's touchdown, and that is tough. He was wide open, ran a little bit of like maybe a switch route there on the left side, and just confused the DBs. And, Elfridge had the time, was able to sit back there and just make a good throw without having to rush it.
And that's exactly what it was. Switches route there, like you said. And again, I mean, you hit it all on the head. But the fact that he had time, he was a half a step away from getting sacked.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had to hold it any longer, I don't know the ball gets complete. But on the money, Sapola, hands above the head, just stabs the ball out of the air. And when he gets it on stride, he's gone.
And the extra point is good, widening the lead right now to 29-6. So now we're just going to need another answer now from the Rockville offense to kind of keep them in this game. And you wonder kind of what they go with, because, I mean, on the 2 pass plays that Ramsdale had that were big, the one to Boland and then the big gain that really got the drive going, he was pressured both times by rushers coming off the edge and, made his 2 biggest plays of the game on his heels. So I kind of wonder what their game plan will be, if they'll try to stick through the air or if they're going to try to utilize the run game with Boland.
Yeah, well, again, and we've seen quite a stout defense there by Cromwell. Now, first quarter of the game earlier, Cromwell's defense was really eating up everything we saw in the middle. Second quarter is when Rockville was able to start finding wider creases and start hitting the hole a little more and gaining yards and moving the chains. So, I mean, you don't want to wait too long, but obviously, Rockville has shown that they can start to open those creases when it doesn't seem like it's there. So sticking with the run game, obviously, is probably going to be something that they want to do to keep the defense obviously honest.
Kickoff here by Mashad for Cromwell. Will be fielded deep. Rockville looking to get a little bit of a return. They get an okay return up to a little bit past the 30-yard line to about the 33, and that is where Ramsdale and the Rams offense will take over. And we have a Cromwell player getting up a little bit slower, so we're going to throw it over to break. You're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. And we are back with the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. Looked like the injured player there for Cromwell was Zaire Brown, the sophomore. He was able to walk off the field, so hopefully we'll see him back on. The Rockville offense takes over now at the 33-yard line. Ramsdale with the give to Boland, bounces it to the left side. Oh, and he is going. He to the 30, to the 20, and Vaughn Payne tackles him down at the 10-yard line. That was a very nice play, very nice run. Good vision there from Boland, bouncing it outside pretty quickly, but Vaughn Payne kind of just a big body, very good athlete that was able to track him down and prevent the touchdown. But Rockville's going to get the ball here now at the 10-yard line in the red zone. So let's see kind of what they cook up now to, keep pace with that Cromwell offense.
Yeah, those long strides by Vaughn Payne there was able to track him down. But, again, Boland with the huge gain, and what the answer, as you asked for, might be right here.
And they run the sweep dive there with Davis getting up inside for a couple yards there.
Yeah, and the senior Matt Gish, he's seen a lot of action over his years playing for the Cromwell Panther football team. And right there, Gish, obviously Johnny on the spot, as we've seen at linebacker this evening, and doing a great job there stopping the run there by Davis.
An official's timeout on the field right now. Maybe to reset the chains. Yep, that's what it looks like. So it should be second down right now for the Rams from about the 9-yard line. And it's plays like that that are going to keep them in the game, like that one from Bolin. So, especially when you're, not on the right side of the field. So, Rams, they'll play action. He's going to scramble around, getting pressured, keeps scrambling. And he is going to be brought down around the line of scrimmage. Did a nice effort to get back to the line of scrimmage while he was being pressured. It looked like Cromwell might have brought 5 or 6 on that play. And he was kind of pressured right from the jump.
Yeah, he was able to elude the first one, but it's going to be very hard to get away from what we've seen so far tonight, Tyler Cipolla. I mean, he, as we've seen in open field, really closes it down, so you can imagine what he's like in a small space. Very athletic, and obviously they're able to reel down Ramsdale and not allow him to get outside that pocket.
It's going to be 3rd and 10 right now from the 10-yard line with 5:35 remaining in the half. So a touchdown here is imperative if you're Rockville, especially with the time winding down. Ramsdale takes the snap, pressured right away up the gut by 27 there, just came screaming through the B gap. Now it's going to be 4th and goal for the Rams from the 10-yard line, and you got to be curious what the play is. Obviously, it's a shot to the end zone, but are you going to run, put Boland out in the slot? Are you going to, try to get Davis open on a corner route or something over the middle? You have weapons. It's just what do you do with them?
And yes, the weapons are there, but as we just saw, is the protection there. And that's what's going to dictate everything also. Like, what can you protect long enough to allow your quarterback not to be under duress getting rid of the ball?
Ramsdale drops back, pressured. Shot to the end zone there to Boland, and a flag comes in. Looks like maybe a hold in the end zone. So Rockville gets a little bit more life right now with that penalty. It should be a first down. Pass interference on the defense. Be a half the distance to the goal penalty. So it should be 1st down and 5. So, maybe not the way you want to get it through a penalty, but it's more life, and that's what Rockville needs.
Absolutely. I mean, if they can, again, get another set, let's say obviously another 6 is 12, but if they can get some more points up on the board here, to be able to at least get within 2 possessions with the 4th quarter to go, again, you have to make them all count, but you're keeping yourself in phase with the game, obviously, where you can't give away a possession right now.
Looks like the box hasn't reset. This is 4th down. And the keeper by Ramsdale, he is going to run into the end zone. That is going to be a touchdown for the Rams. Didn't even really look like a read at all. It was just an automatic keep from Ramsdale with Boland coming across his face. I mean, there was no one there to stop. Nobody that he had to, evade. So it's a nice touchdown there.
Yeah, the defense obviously, has been geared up all week to stop Boland, and right there really thought Boland had the ball. Ramsdale able to walk in unscathed to the end zone and puts these 6 up on the board that Rockville needs, and now we're going to get a seed. It looks like the offense stays on the field, so they are going to continue with the 2-point conversion attempts that we thought they might based off of what happened on the first PAT attempt.
I think you got to do that too. Less than 20 minutes left in the game. You're down by right now 3 scores. You get this, then it becomes a 15-point game, which is more manageable.
It is, but
and it's a reverse to Davis. Davis is going for the edge, and he is bottled up immediately right there by Cipolla.
So here's the thing, and it's always been my philosophy. I mean, it's always been something I talked about before when I've covered games. It's hard to chase points before the 4th quarter. So you take the PAT, it's 29-13, you're down by 16. Now you're in the score 2-point. Now you're down 29-12, you're down 17, and now you're in a situation it's automatically 3 scores. Yeah. So at least with the PAT, and again, not saying that maybe they weren't comfortable with it, but with the PAT, you still keep it a 2-possession game. And again, it's a defensive coach in me. I was never a fan of chasing points before the 4th quarter. It's an old school mentality. It's definitely not something you see on Sundays anymore. It's not necessarily what you see in a lot of the game of football, and I'm not saying the game of football might be for me anymore. But my philosophy, and you can call it the Bill Parcells way, take the points when they're there, and you can chase points in the 4th quarter when you have to. And right there, Now it's still a 3-possession game, which do you get 3 possessions? I don't know unless you force a turnover.
Especially the way Cromwell's kind of been, holding the ball, dominated the time of possession in the first half. We got another pooch kick here. Oh, and that's bobbled by 27 there. And he is going to be taken down at the 25-yard line. So these pooch kicks have given Cromwell a little bit of a little difficulty in this second half. The first one almost recovered by them, and then this most recent one, bounces off the player's face mask. He's able to keep it and get a little return, but it's been very effective for him, it seems like.
Yeah, that dynamic with the kicking game has really kept them on their toes, and it's given them some opportunities. And so that's all you can ask for. And again, you hope to score again, so there's going to be at least, again, you're hoping – you need there to be at least 2 more kickoff opportunities to get that 3rd possession. So,
yeah.
If you could steal one back on one of those, that's a huge plus after taking a score and then getting the ball right back. That would obviously really help your cause.
Satora in, he gives to Gish on the sweep, and he is brought down right away on the outside. Nice tackle towards the boundary. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 right now for Cromwell.
Yeah, Andrews Manzanares on that tackle. Nice job there, really grabbing the legs, taking the ankles out, squeezing, and just making sure that he has that clamp on there and just pulls him down. Great tackling technique in the open field.
That's what you got to do too. I mean, with how hard all these Cromwell players are running, whether it's Sapola, Gish, Sataro, these guys all run really hard. Sataro on the keep on the power read. He doesn't get much there. So it's going to be, looks like 3rd and 9 right now with 4:11 left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, 3 and out here would be obviously instrumental to the cause for the Rams. So big play right now. We've seen in situations like this, we know who they like to go to. 21 Sapola seems to be the person, whether it's a wheel route or a switches route that we've seen. Anytime he gets any kind of movement away from his defender, obviously he finds a way to get space. That's got to be the speed breakaway. He breaking away from that defender. So when he has those opportunities, he's the guy you probably will see that they'll may go to in this situation.
Now Elfrich is back in the game. He drops back to pass, scrambles to the right, throw over to the middle to Vaughn Payne, and he's going to pick up a 1st down. Was close to the sticks, but just gets it. So that's going to move the chains for the Panther offense.
Yeah, good looking play there. Elfrich looking to the left side. Obviously, we knew who Sapola was over there, so gets the defense drawn that way, and then comes back to the right side where he finds Vaughn Payne just past the sticks, but away from where his eyes were most of that play. So way to manipulate the defense.
Elfrich still in the game. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the 37-yard line. Motion by Sapola. They're going to throw the screen to the right to Sapola. He's got blockers out front, and he is going. He is to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and that is a touchdown. But we have a flag on the play, back to around where Sapola caught the pass. So it looks like we might get a hold or a block in the back here on one of these receivers that was, out in front for Sapola. Looked so effortless when he was running, though. Once he kind of got into space, didn't really even look like he was running too hard. It was just, it looked so easy for him.
Yeah, and again, he just kind of gallops away from everybody and just turns on the afterburners. But like you said, holding on the outside, one of the reasons why he might have been sprung on that play. But that's going to come back, take the points off the board, and keep Rockville with at least a sliver of an opportunity. Because I think right there, if that's obviously points on the board for Cromwell, that might be the final opportunity, because I just don't see enough possessions for Rockville to come back from that. So they really need to get a stop on Cromwell's offense, obviously, here. But every time Cromwell does have the ball, if they do want to have an opportunity to win this game.
Looks like 1st and 19 right now for Cromwell, and Sataro is in the game at quarterback. We've got trips to the right side of the field to the boundary, or to the sideline. Motion in. Sataro with the give to Gish. And he's swarmed right away for maybe a 3-yard gain. That's going to bring up about 2nd and 16 for Cromwell.
it's a little scary watching. I don't care where you are, but even watching from the booth here, you see Gish on that run play there inside the hole. But when he saw that hole collapsing real fast, and he ducked his head, and he put himself in a real dangerous position. You don't want to give the back of your head exposed to a defender who's coming in to make a tackle, because even the accidental situation is never going to be good for anyone. So anybody watching, especially the young ones, keep your head up no matter what, even when you're running the ball, because that's the way you got to protect yourself. You don't want to duck your head like just happened there.
Pass to number 4, and he is tackled very hard right around the line of scrimmage. That was Mashad there. Ran kind of an arrow route from the tight end position and was tackled just about immediately. So that brings up a 3rd and very long for the Panther offense. Elfridge still in at quarterback right now. So, I mean, right now, do you look for Sapola on one of those switches, or do you try to, utilize Vaughn Payne? I think he's only been targeted once, and that one time was the touchdown.
Well, he did get that first down.
Yes, you're right.
He did get that, so you're right. I mean, in the situations, we know your initial look is 21, but they can maybe use him as a decoy to get it back to 7 there.
And that's intercepted by number 0 for Rockville, and that is a play that they needed big time. That was intercepted right there by Boland over the middle on 3rd and long, and he gets them into very, very good field position.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you want to start thinking the clock game here if you're Rockville. So with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, this is an opportunity to get points even before the 4th quarter begins to try to really keep as much time as possible on the clock.
Not even talking about field position or just getting the ball back. That play means so much more than a punt there, just because it's just a big energy play, kind of shifts the momentum, makes Cromwell Portland kind of alter their play calling when they come out on their next drive. Ramsdell drops back, throws over the middle to Davis, and they've got a 1st down to about the 12-yard line. Ran a nice little crosser there.
Yeah, Ramsdell holding on the ball, gets it away, but again, it's now getting to the end of the 3rd quarter. So that Cromwell defense is getting a little slower maybe in their pursuit. But again, earlier in the quarter, those were sacks and those were knocked balls and those were hits. And right now able to get it off. But again, maybe have to elude the protection and move the feet a little bit and get himself into a better position to not have any kind of situations happen.
Ramsdell with the give to Boland. And he's tackled in the backfield for a loss of 1. There's 37 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Hey, I saw 2 bags of popcorn that looked very edible and delectable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you what's going on with the popcorn that we have up here in the booth?
I believe we're going to be doing a giveaway for those 2 bags of popcorn to anybody that's at the game. That's also in the YouTube chat on SNSN Sports YouTube page. So if you comment in there that you want popcorn, we'll pick somebody from the chat. They can come up to the booth and grab a bag of popcorn. We got 2 up here, so hopefully we get a couple people in the chat, in the mix. And Ramsdell is going to be sacked there by number 4. And that is a negative play you don't want right now. And that'll be 3rd and make for about 3rd and 15 or 16 when the 4th quarter starts. That's the end of the quarter. You are watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week presented by SNSN Sports. And we are back here at the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. Right now, 29-12. Cromwell Panthers on top of the Rockville Rams in the 4th quarter, 12 minutes to go. And Rockville has a 3rd and about 17 right now from the 19-yard line. But before we get back into the game, we're doing a popcorn giveaway here, from NFP Sports. So if you are in the chat right now and you are also at the game, you can comment in the YouTube chat and then come up to, if you're picked, you'll come up to the booth and be able to get a bag of popcorn. Good stuff, obviously. So you could be going home tonight with a bag of popcorn.
You can't beat that. I mean, I think I saw one that was a caramel popcorn bag, and I mean, you're looking at some pretty good stuff that NFP puts out there for their football. Well, not just their football programs, but all the sport programs they support.
Oh, and Ramsdell with a nice strike over the middle on a post route to 27 for a touchdown. That was a nice throw. That might have been their best throw of the night, where he wasn't pressured, had the time, and found his guy in one-on-one coverage over the middle. That was number 27, Russell, the senior. Really nice grab.
And now we see Rockville is going to go back to the PAT. So you just wonder if Coach, when he had some time to think about it, maybe thought that, obviously that decision he might be kind of rethinking in terms of maybe I want to, do the PAT on the last one and then see where we are now. But obviously the situation they're in is a 3-score game. You have to get them one at a time, and so far here's this one, and you hope to add another point to it.
It's 29-18 right now. PAT is good. So that makes it 29-19 right now. 10-point deficit for the Rams. That PAT was good by Molly Wilson, the junior kicker.
So there you go. That's one. Now we're down to 2. So we stole, I say we, but Rockville stole that possession with the interception there at the end. Like you said, better than a punt. Mm-hmm. And took it, got it in great field position. So now you have to answer here, get a stop, and then obviously have your second opportunity to get the points that you need to put yourself ahead in that situation. So 2 possessions to go, 2 opportunities at least, maybe more depending if the defense can do it. We might even see something here on the special teams that we've seen all night, where one of these kicks that, maybe goes to a different spot where we haven't seen them going all night, and that really, catches Cromwell off guard here. You never know if they can steal a possession. But obviously Rockville with the next 2 have to go about their business.
Wilson out to kick.
And she changed it up.
Oh, it's an onside kick.
No, that's an early touch.
Yeah.
There's no flag. That's an early touch.
You touched that at about 8 yards.
Yeah, wow.
Bounced right off his face mask. That's still going to be Cromwell ball. I'm surprised no flag came in. There's an official, standing right down there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, if you're Cromwell, obviously you're happy you got the ball back, but it is one of those situations where I don't think you realize how lucky. I think Coach does realize how lucky he is, but how lucky you are that it was an early touching by the kicking team, not called by the officials. And so Cromwell still gets possession, but Rockville had an opportunity there that they shouldn't have, and almost got a chance to steal the possession we were talking about.
That early touch almost helped Cromwell. The way it bounced off the player's face mask just pushed the ball forward and kind of out of reach for any Rockville player. So Cromwell is going to come out on offense at the 46-yard line. Sitaro in at quarterback. Sapola next to him in the backfield along with Gish.
Yeah, so difference of 5 yards. They would have had the ball where the early touch happened, so it would have been up there at the 48 of Rockville. So obviously Cromwell, it changes 5 yards, but at least you have the possession of the ball, which I'm sure Coach Melo is happy about in the end. And
Sitaro there with the keep gets no yards there. It looks like he's going to stay in at quarterback right now, getting the play. So right now we had 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. Rockville finds themselves down by 10 points. Cromwell comes out. Sitaro at quarterback. They've got tight bunch right. And they go toss to the right with Gish, and he's tackled after about a 2-yard, 3-yard gain. So you're going to bring about 3rd and 7 from the 48, 49-yard line. Now, right now, if you're Cromwell, you can't get too conservative in your play calling. You kind of got to go back to what you did in the first half a little bit. But, also, this Rockville defense, not taking anything away from them there. It's playing very, very good football, very sound defense.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I am so impressed at how Manzanares tackles number 13. He does a great job in the open field, and And that's when you have that and you have the confidence to know you have somebody that can be your force player out there, he really helps the defense cover a lot of space with just one person.
And you go counter, and that's Sapola, and he is going to get a first down and a lot more.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts right there because, like you said, you had him 3rd and long, you had a chance, and that little counter play caught him off guard, and they were able to pick up some blocks, and Sapola picks up the first down, moving it down to the 37 of the Rams.
Be first down with 10 minutes to go in the game. Rockville defense really in dire need of a stop right now as they find themselves down by 2 scores. And Elfrich comes into the game at quarterback. Sapola here in the slot, Gish in the backfield. Motion in by the tight end. They're going to go the give to Gish, who bounces it, but is dragged into the backfield by a handful of Rockville defenders. He's going to, forward progress is going to keep him at about the line of scrimmage, so it should be 2nd and 10 right now.
And so far it's been 2 minutes off the clock from what you said earlier in terms of the 11-20. So you can see obviously that the thought here in terms of Cromwell is going to be to just kind of slow this game down and let those minutes, the seconds tick, and eventually minutes. Because obviously, with at least 3 downs to go here still, I mean, you're looking at about another at least minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock, and it's going to get it down to that 7-minute mark easily.
Elfrich takes a snap, give to Gish, who is stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and 11 now. Like you were saying, too, that's the difference. We even saw it early on. Cromwell, they get the play from the sideline, aren't in too much of a rush, don't break the huddle super quickly, and that drains a lot of clock compared to Rockville, who they're into the huddle quick, they're up on the line of scrimmage, they're snapping the ball very fast. So, that's kind of been a big deciding factor for Cromwell and how they've kind of controlled the clock. And now it's down to just under 8.5 minutes left in the game, and 3rd and 11.
Well, it's going to be interesting here. Are they going to put the ball in the air, or are they going to, continue to run it here and again, choose some more clock?
And they're going to go to Gish on a dive. And that's going to get him back to a little bit before the line of scrimmage. It should be 4th and 9 right now.
So it'll be 7 and change if they make the stop here on 4th down, that they get the ball back. And again, that's 4 minutes off the clock. So if every time that they get possession of the ball is going to be 4 minutes, it's just almost going to eliminate the game, obviously, for Rockville to have an opportunity to get back in it with any amount of possessions, because they're not going to have enough.
Yep.
So, again, Cromwell happy at least in the situation because they're playing the clock game now. I don't think they're worried about, obviously, scoring points in this situation or any situation. They just want to make sure they don't allow Rockville to have time to do what they need to do.
And Cromwell drains the game clock down to about 7.5 minutes before taking a timeout. Smart move there by Coach to get as much out of the clock as he can and then really get a good play in that he thinks will be effective on 4th down.
Yeah, well, this is going to be, obviously Cromwell at this situation with the clock where it is, you're not worried about whether it's run or pass. So you have to imagine, obviously, they're going to go for the first down at the very least. And we know 2 people that they like to go to in those situations, and one is number 21 and one is number 7. So it'll be interesting. We could see Sataro in there, which, we always assume is quarterback run, but we've seen him throw the ball. So you have to, if you're Rockville, almost believe that it's almost a decoy to think that they are going to run the ball in that situation and watch him go over the top to a Payne Vaughn again, or Vaughn Payne, sorry. And obviously see if he can do some damage there again. But, we'll see who comes in that quarterback position. That kind of was, and it looks like Elfrich is going off to the sideline, so it looks like Sataro is in. So, again, is this that kind of where you're trying to get the defense to think it's going to be a run, and then you see big number 7 off to the right. So keep an eye on Vaughn Payne out there.
Sataro in, Gish in the backfield to his left, Sapola in the slot to the left. It looks like Rockville's going to bring pressure. Sataro drops back. He's pressured immediately, and a huge sack there for Rockville on 4th down. What a play there by number 11. They showed blitz, and they brought blitz right off the rip, and Sataro dropped back to pass. No QB power there. And Rockville is going to get possession of the ball at the 47-yard line, it looks like.
Opportunity to behold here. So again, you need 10, and you got to start with at least one. So one score. So opportunity, and you got to believe, like as you said, all night they've been going fast and out of the huddle, but they have to obviously in this situation be doing that just based off a game situation.
There's a flag on the play. False start on the offense. Not how you want to start a very, very important drive of the game.
No, pre-snap penalties are the killers. Those are one thing that, for any coach that really is one of the things that will wear you down, because pre-snap penalties are mental penalties, and you can't have those happen, especially in this situation.
Mm-hmm. So now it's going to be 1st and 15 for the Rockville offense. Ramsden, Boland to his left. Motion by Davis across the formation. He's going to throw the slant over to 10. Kind of threw it a little bit behind him there. Maybe a miscommunication. He looked right away over to him after the run fake.
So, play call that would obviously fit the situation. We've seen slant, slant, slant. Sluggo, as they call it, slant and go would be an interesting call. But again, to run a sluggo, you have to be able to protect in the backfield. And Ramsdale's been under pressure, so it'd be interesting to see if they at least put that call in with the slant and go and see if they can catch a quick one over the top based off the amount of times they've shown the corner slant tonight.
Ramsden with the play fake, drops back. He heaves it to number 10, and it's just out of reach. And that's going to bring up now a 3rd and 15. So behind the sticks right now, not where you want to be, but they have hit some big plays. So, and I wonder if they go to maybe a hitch and go or a slant and go sort of play, kind of bait the defense, and then look for something like that over the top.
You'd like to think now is the time, but, like you said, can they get that protection at least? And that's the thing. So, with 3rd and long, you have to believe Cromwell's pinning the airs back right now, and they're coming. So I think obviously I would imagine Rockville's expecting that. So knowing full well it's going to be hard to sit back there for 5 steps, but obviously if you want to win this game, you have to find a way to protect.
They bring 3 Rams to the sideline with a big pickup there. Not going to get them a first, but it's going to get them to about 4th and 4. That was over to number 88, it looked like. That is Armani Gordon with the catch. So it'll get them to about 4th and 5 right now. Biggest play of the game right now if you're Rockville. And now you got to think, do you go to the air or do you look, try to get it on the ground with Boland, who's kind of been your workhorse all game?
He has been. I feel like their biggest plays tonight have been through the air. So
Yeah.
I think in this situation, whether that's your thing all season, I think in this situation you're gonna put the ball in the air.
Drops back to pass. Pressured, steps up in the pocket. He kind of lofts one up, and that's going to be intercepted by Sapola. I mean, offense, defense, he has been doing it all game. And Cromwell is going to take over possession now at the, looks like the 43, 44-yard line. That's a tough break there. I mean, got to get rid of the ball. I guess smartest thing in that situation if you're getting pressured, but obviously not the result you want.
No, it's tough there. And Boland, obviously being a running back, not necessarily sound and maybe as a receiver play, was kind of sitting there waiting for the ball to come to him. And in that situation there, you see Sapola not going to put himself in that position to get there. And that's where you need Boland coming back to the ball. And to be honest with you, if he came back to the ball, you might have seen a PI on that.
Yeah.
Because it might have been a situation where Sapola would have had to come through the body at least at the rate that he was coming at. And, might have a first down at least if it wasn't a reception. So just some of the small things, late in the game, but some of the small things that are important. Those are the fundamentals where with that ball, as you're throwing those kind of hitch routes or those outside routes and it's floating, you got to come back to the ball and help the quarterback out, but also really to shield the defender from doing that.
So Elfrich comes out at quarterback in empty. They're going to run a jet sweep to Gish to the right. He's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you mentioned kind of coming back for that PI. We saw that earlier when they ran the jet sweep pass. Davis came back for the ball, ran into the DB, and they ended up getting a free 15 yards there. So, those types of things, like you said, Bolin, a running back, maybe not as comfortable out at receiver. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 right now for the Panthers offense with just under 6.5 minutes to go in the game, and looks like they're going to try to bleed the clock down, and that's what they've been doing best all game. And, I mean, if they bleed 4 minutes out of this, that gives them, with no score, I mean, that's still a 10-point deficit with only 2 minutes left for the Rams. And we have a delay game penalty on the Panthers offense. So that'll back them up 5 to make it 2nd and 15 with 6 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, I don't think again, nobody's happy with having any kind of penalty. I don't think coach is too worried about it in this situation. Just going to be happy to see clock, which again stops with the penalty, but to see the clock running down once they get the ball running again.
Tossed, bounced back inside immediately by Gish. Now we're under 6 minutes left in the game, and they're going to run this clock down up until they have to snap it. It's going to be 3rd and 15 right now.
Yeah, so on the high school field, when you don't see play clocks, which you see on normal college stadiums, or even maybe if you're down south for high school, the official, the back judge, will raise his hand when there's 5 seconds left on the play clock, and that's when the quarterback, if he's watching for him, will know when he wants to take the snap as close to the final seconds as possible. It doesn't look like Sitaro's looking down the field at him right now, though.
Sitaro dumps it off to Sapola. Tries to make a move, but is bottled up there after about a 2-yard gain. So it's going to bring up 4th and 13 from the 40-yard line. And the clock continues to tick down. No timeouts used here by Rockville. It's going to get under 5 minutes before they punt this.
I think Sapolo's got a little numb left arm there, just trying to shake it out. And I think he's the punter, so he was kind of running himself off the field, but now he had to get back out there for punt. So, see if he has trouble fielding this punt from the center.
And Rockville, they brought the heat on the last punt, so I imagine you do that now too. Oh, and they came close again. It's fielded by Davis. He's getting a good return. We got a penalty flag out, and, going to assume it's going to be a block in the back. You see that a lot on the punts and kick returns.
Davis able to make that first person miss, but not, and even the second. But obviously right there, the coverage comes down for Cromwell and seals the deal.
Be a change of possession here with 4:22 left in the game. See where Rockville ends up gaining possession.
As you said, blocking the back.
Blocking the back by the Rams.
So that'll negate the nice little return there from Davis. And Rockville will gain possession of the ball at the 23-yard line. So they take over there. Ramsdale, the senior, looking to kind of work a little bit of magic with 4:22 left in the game. They got a long way to go, and then even if they get a score here, they still got to get another one. Rockville comes out and spread. Boland motions out of the backfield, and he swings it over to Boland. And he's tackled right away by Sapola, who fought off a block from the receiver and made a really, really nice play in the backfield.
See, now the next thing you might look to see off of that play there for a big play is instead of the receivers that are going downfield and blocking, they'll fake that bubble route, but the receiver who's been blocking the secondary player all night will just fake and then take off and go, which hopefully catching that secondary player thinking he's going to block him so he stops his feet.
Ramsden evades a sack, and he keeps scrambling. He gets up to about the 32-yard line. I mean, he's holding the ball awfully long. I know that they only brought 3, and their coverage on the back end was nice, but he's holding on to the ball for a long time and nearly gets sacked there.
Yeah, and I think Cromwell's happy with that. We're going to drop 8, rush 3, and we want you to rush for 8 yards and let the clock run and still not have a first down yet. They're more than happy. They just don't want the big play.
Ramsden throws a screen low over to the right side, and it is dropped, and that's going to bring up 4th and 2 right now with 3:19 left in the game.
Yeah, we've seen a couple times Ramsdale gets a little fast with his motion. He did that earlier on a 4th down where he threw that hitch pass, I thought, a little early. I thought that one also a little early down at the feet. Not necessarily early, but obviously location. So I don't think he was setting his motion well enough, meaning early in terms of what he should be doing in terms of his body and his positioning. But that time, obviously, he just gets a little unwound in those situations. And obviously, when it's 4th and 2 here, and every second, but everything matters here. Obviously, it's easy to get a little out of your comfort zone.
The give is to Boland up the gut, and he is going to get a first down. The clock rolls right now with 3 minutes and about 10 seconds left.
Yeah, it stops when the chains are set, and the chains are considered set. So I'm kind of, again, extra seconds that don't need to be getting off the clock right now are getting off.
Boland in the slot right now. Ramsden drops back. Oh, and there's that double move we were looking for. He was looking for Davis, but that was covered very nicely by the Cromwell secondary.
Yeah, it's a little late in the game because the way that obviously Cromwell's defending now, they just have deep secondary players. They're putting 3 deep, and they're telling you that you can throw the ball underneath. We're not going to let you score, but it's hard to get that play off now, obviously, when the other team is sitting back defensively. When the game is a little bit more closer in hand, you have that opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive, but right now it's going to be hard to catch Cromwell with playing the 3 guys as deep as they are and get an easy one on them.
Mm-hmm. So it is 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Drops back pass, pressured right away. He scrambles deep into the pocket and just throws it away in the direction of Boland. And that time, Cromwell brought a little bit of pressure, but I think it might have still only been 4 or 5. Nothing, too complicated, and didn't look like any real twists or stunts up front.
No, they just kind of jumped that snap count. You saw that linebacker kind of pressing the line there and timing up the snap. So, again, 5 yards doesn't help you, but obviously changing the snap count out in this situation, if you needed a break but you wanted to catch your breath and you just want to get an easy 5, I think you'll catch them, obviously, in this situation for sure, the way Cromwell's pinning their heirs back.
3rd and 10. Ramsdale lined up in the spread. Play action. Ramsdale scanning. Steps up in the pocket, and he's going to take off again. He's going to slide right before the marker, and that's a flag coming in. Looks like it's going to be a late hit. Got hit kind of around the same time that he slid. So that's going to give Rockville a first down and 15 yards too, which they need.
Yeah, it looks like Rockville's doing everything they can to save their timeouts. They don't want to call in any situation, so they're trying to get the kids to the line as fast as possible. But obviously, the 15 yards will be walked off first.
Personal foul against the Panthers.
And that's what the call is. Going to be a personal foul on Cromwell. A late hit there on Ramsdale.
Penalty brings the ball to the Panther 40-yard line.
And they're going to have 1st and 10 from the Panther 40-yard line. So solid field position, 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. There's still some life. Clock's running now. Ramsdale drops back, throws a screen over to the left side. Nice gain. Very nice. A spin move. Oh.
Did he fumble?
He fumbled on the spin. Oh. That was, I believe, Russell, the senior, that had caught the screen, and he did a lot there, but that maybe one move too many, fumbled there on the screen.
Fumble at the end of the play, recovered by the Panther.
And that is going to be Cromwell ball with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left. That just about feels like game, even though Rockville does still have their 3 timeouts. Boy, that's a tough one.
That is. And you don't want to see it happen to anyone, and you feel bad for anyone in that situation. And obviously Mason Russell did everything he can, and he's trying to make a play for his team. And unfortunately, you have to credit the Cromwell defense because they were able to knock the ball out, and that's one of those things you happen. I mean, it happens on Sundays to professionals.
Yep.
Everyone's trying to make a play. Things happen. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen at the time of a game when you want it to, but That's what happens. You try to make a play, and you can't fault the kid for it.
And Coach Knickerbocker for Rockville will call the first timeout after a short gain by Sataro. With 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining, we're going to go to break. You're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. We are back here with the High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports after the timeout. A big gain there by Cromwell, and that should just about seal the game. A first down with 2 minutes left. Rockville just took. Did Rockville take a timeout here? Oh, he actually went out of bounds, so that is going to stop the clock, which works, it's a benefit for Rockville. Still gives them, hopefully a little life, but Cromwell looking to seal the deal here, get another first down. Sataro in the game at quarterback, who's been, their primary runner all game. They have Gish lined up at a wing over the left. And the give is to Sapola. He's going to get around the edge, and there's a penalty marker on the ground after a nice tackle by your guy 13 there.
Yeah, he's been out there all night doing a great job, and I'll tell you what, if you're a defensive coach and you're coaching him, you can count on him out there.
We'll see what the marker is. Oh, and the penalty flag is going to be waved off. So it'll be 2nd and 10, it looks like right now for Cromwell, with 1:54 remaining in the game. The clock is going to wind. Does not look like Rockville is going to take any of their timeouts. Sator letting the clock kind of wind down. He's going to take the snap. He's going to keep on the power read. He's going to be brought down around the line of scrimmage. And Rockville is now taking one of their timeouts. So we're going to go to break here at the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports. We are back with the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week here on SNSN Sports. And the give is to Sapola around the edge on 3rd down. And Rockville is going to take their 3rd and final timeout of the game. And right now, while we're going into the timeout, I guess we can name our players of the game for both Rockville and for Cromwell. For Cromwell, to no surprise, it is going to be number 21, the man that's kind of done it all, has a couple touchdowns tonight, had an interception late in this game. It is going to be Tyler Sapola, the junior.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been a major contributor for Cromwell this evening, and you can credit him with, as you said, some of the huge plays tonight, whether it was the 2 touchdown receptions that he had, the interception. If there's been a play to be made, he's probably the one doing it, and you got to say a well-deserved honor representing the Cromwell Panthers in a victory. You know, Sapola getting the player of the game for them for sure.
And for Rockville, it's going to be quarterback, the senior, Brady Ramsdell. 2 rushing touchdowns, some big plays through the touchdown to Russell over the middle. And it's kind of kept them in this game, you know, despite, you know, facing some pressure. Oh, and it's a fake punt by Sapola on 4th down. And he is going to pick up a big gain there. He taking a lot of defenders with him. 4th down, fake punt up 10 right now, and that's going to officially seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, you have to credit Coach Melo and the special teams coaching staff over there from Cromwell to take advantage of saying, hey, you know what? We have nothing to lose right now. They still have to score twice, and if we get this 1st down, we seal the game, and obviously they got much more than a 1st down. So now you can officially start taking the knees, and this one's going to be official. And again, Ramsdell, well-deserved. Obviously, your quarterback needs to be a leader, and he proved that this evening by, you know, helping get those points up on the board for the Rams. It's not the outcome that I'm sure they wanted, but, you know, if you get to give an award as we have here, you know, for the Rockville Rams, it has to go to Ramsdell.
Absolutely. And the victory formation comes out. Elfridge takes the knee, and I think they might have to snap it one more time maybe. But that is going to be the game. And Cromwell will, you know, they will go to 8-1, Coach Morello's team. Rockville will fall to 7-1. Both still absolutely in the playoff hunt for their divisions. And, you know, now it kind of seems like who will host the playoff game of these 2 teams.
Who's the Cromwell player going to be?
Sapola.
Sapola? Yeah, where do you want him to be? You want him up in the booth? Mike, up in the booth for the players?
Rockville falls to Cromwell on senior night, 29-19. But we are not done yet. We'll be interviewing the players of the game, both Sapola and Ramsdell, up here in the booth right after all the post-game traditions. So stay with us, but we're going to go to break right now. You're watching the NFP Sports High Impact Game of the Week on SNSN Sports. All right, I am here with the Cromwell Portland player of the game, Tyler Sapola. Kind of did it all tonight. Interception, couple receiving touchdowns. What was the energy like tonight, especially facing off against an undefeated team on the road?
Well, I've been starting on this team since I was a freshman, sophomore. This is my third time to play them. Each time we've played them, we've been undefeated and took a loss. My freshman year was at our place. We were 8-0. They came there and they beat us. So it's kind of I've had this on my calendar since then. So
nice to get a little revenge, especially on senior night.
Yep. And we took a loss in the beginning of the season, and then our team kind of just locked in, and we've all had this circled on our calendar.
Nice. So how are you feeling right now, especially end of the year, gearing up for the playoffs? How are you feeling? How's the morale feeling for the team?
I feel great. I think the team each week is just stepping forward, another step, and they're going to make it. I want to go back. We're planning on going back. We're planning on seeing Sonia.
Awesome.
We want to see them.
Awesome. Tyler, congrats on the great game. I really appreciate you coming up here.
Thank you very much.
Talking to me. And good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and now I am joined with Rockville Rams quarterback Brady Ramsdell. Brady, obviously not the result you wanted tonight, especially on senior night, but you went out there, played good. Obviously, playoff hopes are still alive. How are you feeling tonight?
I think we played hard. It was just too little, too late. I'd be lying if I didn't leave it all out there in the second half, but I could have done more. The team could have done more in the first half. It's hard to come back 22-0.
Definitely. No, I agree. You left it all out there, played really good. What was kind of the halftime, talk that you guys had, especially that got you guys juiced up, come back and, score 19 points?
Coach Knickerbocker, he said, we've won games at Rockville, but he's never came back in a game, So we were kind of like, why not us? Why can't we try to be the team that makes the comeback? And that's kind of what fueled me. I try to get that message in everybody's heads. I think we got it. Just tough one.
Definitely left it all out there. Brady, I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.